we fitted the boot. So this is made by an orthopedic, well, a splint company called Ossa. You've probably heard of them. Icelandic. They're reasonably big in the US, but not as big as DJO or the Aircast people. We buy the boot off them and then basically fit this hook on the back. There's quite a lot of work to make it do it because we put a metal sole plate inside. It's no longer designed for walking on. They do 7 sizes of boot. What we found is this boot is good up from about a lady's size 5, and it's never not been big enough, right up to 13, 14, 15, because it's not a problem if the toes stick out the front.
Us Americans, we got some big feet.
Yeah, but you can peel that back, you can even cut it off. If the toes stick out out of the front, actually it's a good thing because you can see in surgery that the foot stays in place. So normally we wrap, there's a sock inside the kit, or they can just wrap with a non-woven barrier material. Put the foot in, close it up, put the tongue in. It's a very nicely designed boot. It's got padding in all the right places and so on. Except that's not in the right place. If anybody wants to try it, they're very welcome. The pneumatic pump on the front here, what that does is it fills in down the 2 sides of the calf, and what that does is it makes it very efficient, because what we're doing with the boot mostly is rotating the leg. So by closing the gap around the calf, we take away any sort of freedom of play inside, so we get very efficient rotational thing. The Hannah, I believe, the boots stay permanently on the machine, so you've actually got to get the patient and put the foot on the machine, and the same with the arch. So ours is detachable. The Medacta is detachable, but engagement of the boot on the machine is very difficult when you've got the weight of the patient's leg in it. So we've designed around all of those known shortcomings to make ours better. So normally this is done whilst the patient is being induced with the anaesthetic. So at my brother's hospital, actually the anaesthetist puts the boot on. We use a calf pump on both legs during surgery. So do you sell calf pumps?
We don't sell them, but you know they're very commonly used.
It would be an interesting accessory for you to throw into the kit, because they're consumable. The actual pump, the calf thing, they're about $100 each. So it's quite a nice revenue. And you sell, you know, the capital equipment is the pump, and what it's doing is it's basically inflating and deflating all the time. And we put that on both legs, and it starts the minute the patient is induced, and it stays on until they're mobilised out of bed, and it just helps reduce incidence of DVT.
Is this when you pump now? When you got
so you've got it all pulled that as tight as you can. The red strap is ours, and that's because this boot isn't designed as its primary purpose that the foot shan't pull out of it. So that's why we put this strap around the corner, so the highest tension is right into the root of the foot here. So that, because what you don't want is when you apply traction, you don't want to pull the foot out basically. Then you pump up, and you can just tell by bounce pressure on here, and that's the deflation. That's one of the reasons we chose this boot over any of the others. All the others we found, the inflator was separate from the boot. So guess what? It's never there.
So the inflator's all right there?
That's it. You pump that to inflate, and you press that to deflate. It's worth trying on and pumping it up and feeling it on yourself, for yourself, so you then know what you're doing to the patient. Because the patient, of course, is unconscious. You're not going to get any feedback from the patient.
And that's universal left and right?
Yeah. And the smaller size is good up to about a lady's size 6. So there's an overlap between the two. You'll end up using this one 85% of the time, in our experience.
So the kit comes with two options.
Yeah,
in it.
small and this, yeah. So this is called medium and that's called extra small. There's no point relabeling them, but they're the smaller one and the bigger one in our case.